This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you, bright and early on your Wednesday hump day. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It is March 2nd.
It is, and it is now 6:30. A lot going on this morning. Now, a major traffic alert in Lexington. We are live out on I-75. A fiery semi-crash causing huge delays this morning. We're on top of the story.
Well, folks in Estill County trying to get some answers about a radioactive waste that was dumped illegally.
And the Cats have struggled on the road, but they returned from Florida with a big win.
And we're looking out and about, holding on to dry roadways. There is some snow falling outside with a few flurries. None of this causing any issues whatsoever. 20s and 30s. By the afternoon, we'll stay in the 30s. Get rid of those morning flurries. I'm going to go into your winter pattern coming up in just a few minutes.
And let's get right to the news. We continue to track a developing traffic alert this morning. A semi-crash on I-75 in Lexington is still causing major delays.
Eyewitness video shows flames shooting out of the semi just after it crashed about 2 o'clock this morning. Amazingly, the driver was not seriously hurt. This morning, northbound traffic is slow going. Mark Barber is live near the Paris Pike exit with an update.
Good morning, Rebecca. And traffic here is very slow going because they only have one lane open for drivers here in the northbound lanes near mile marker 113. Now traffic here is now stretching into a long line for miles. Again, things moving very slowly, and we could likely see these major traffic delays continue through the morning because crews here tell me that they may not get everything cleared up for the next hour or so. And again, that's a rough estimate, so it could stretch on much longer than that. Now you can get an idea of why it's taking crews so long to clear this wreck when you take a look at this eyewitness video. This semi crashed around 2 this morning when police say that the driver lost control of the tractor trailer and flipped, catching fire. Now that driver was all right. We're told he was not seriously hurt. However, what he was hauling, we're told, auto transmissions, we're told that was scattered over the interstate. Now firefighters here say that this wreck also created some other challenges for them. Take a listen.
It's leaking oil, and so that's going down into the center drain under the interstate and out on the side. So we've got a cleanup company en route for that.
One of our photojournalists, Ray Brown, drove out here in the past 20 minutes or so, and he estimates that it will take drivers about a half hour to get through this 2-mile backup. So if this is the route you take as part of your morning commute, you will certainly want to plan a lot of extra time into your morning drive. That's the latest here in Lexington. I'm Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. We'll keep you updated on air and online. And the National Weather Service is expected to be in southern Kentucky later today. They'll be taking a closer look at storm damage there. Severe weather caused quite a mess in Laurel County. James Sexton says he watched as wind blew off his neighbor's roof. And the first responder who lives in that home was rushed to the hospital. The storm also damaged a few buildings and it brought down several trees around Laurel County. This is a dark day in Kentucky's history. It was 4 years ago today that an outbreak of tornadoes touched down across the Commonwealth. Morgan County was one of the hardest hit areas. 6 people died there when an EF3 tornado hit West Liberty. 6 people were also killed in Laurel County on March 2nd, 2012. In all, more than 20 people were killed in Kentucky, and the state saw nearly 20 tornadoes on that day. You can track storms and the latest traffic with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton inching closer to securing their party's presidential nomination after sweeping victories on Super Tuesday. CBS News projects both Trump and Clinton won 7 of the states in play, securing hundreds more delegates. Texas Senator Ted Cruz won the Republican presidential caucuses in Alaska and in Texas and Oklahoma. It was his 3rd win on Super Tuesday, that one of Alaska. Marco Rubio's only win was in Minnesota. Well, with a Super Tuesday in the books, Republican presidential candidates are turning their attention now to Saturday's Kentucky caucus. Donald Trump made his case to Kentucky voters during a rally in Louisville for nearly 45 minutes. The GOP frontrunner talked about his plans to improve the economy and education. Senator Rubio will visit the Bluegrass on Friday. He will hold a rally at the Lexington Center. Senator Ted Cruz's father will be in Louisville and Bowling Green on Friday. Well, along with Kentucky, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, and Nebraska will hold caucuses or primaries on Saturday. For Republicans, Kentucky and Louisiana have the most delegates at stake with 46 each. Kentucky's Republican delegates will be divided among the candidates who have at least 5% of the vote. You can find information about Saturday's Kentucky caucus on WKYT.com.
And we'll continue, of course, to cover that throughout caucus day, in fact, with a special report on WKYT News that evening. Well, hundreds of people turned out for last night's public forum in Estill County, where radioactive waste was illegally dumped in a landfill. County officials there started off the meeting by saying the waste poses no immediate danger to the public. Investigators are now trying to figure out where the nearly 2,000 tons of waste is buried. There was no shortage, though, of questions from the community.
You find it and you remove it.
State investigators say that they will continue to test the landfill and determine what needs to be done with the radioactive waste. They say the landfill is expected to receive a violation notice at some point this week. New this morning, the State House has passed a bill that would toughen sentences for people who are convicted of trying to kill a police officer or a firefighter. The bill, sponsored by Representative Gerald Watkins, would require anyone convicted of that crime to serve at least 85% of their sentence. The bill unanimously passed the House and is now headed to the State Senate.
New this morning, state police have launched an animal cruelty investigation in Morgan County. They got a tip that 2 horses were abandoned at a property along Highway 364. When police got there, they say they found the horses in very bad health. Morgan County Animal Rescue is now caring for those horses. Police are trying to figure out who owns them. Well, deputies arrested a man who they say was high on drugs while driving with his 1-year-old son in the vehicle. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office charged Wesley Wagers with DUI and wanton endangerment. Deputies say they saw Wagers swerving on the road. They say he admitted to using meth earlier in the day. Deputies say the child was in the front seat in an unsecured car seat.
Well, part of the historic Singing Bridge over in Franklin County, there in downtown Frankfort, has temporarily reopened. The state closed the bridge in January to retrofit its steel trusses, and some of the steel won't be ready for a couple of weeks. So the southbound lane is open for now, and the bridge is singing along. Once the new steel arrives, the bridge will temporarily close again to finish up the repairs. Well, it was their first road win in weeks. The Kentucky Wildcats knocked off the Florida Gators last night.
And the Cats got a little bit of help from some of their big men. WKYT's Lee K. Howard is in studio with highlights.
Last night was a Super Tuesday for college basketball, and Kentucky was trying to make their season great again. The Wildcats campaigning in Florida. And Scalabissiere starting for the first time since way back in December. He hits the hook shot early, and the Cats had the early lead. And Kentucky built their lead to 14 points. Tyler Eulis, nice dish to Alex Poitras. Kentucky up 32-18, but Florida would make a comeback. Here comes Casey Hill with the steal and then the slam on the other end to cut the lead to 2. The Cats led by just 4 at halftime. Into the second half now. John Abugnu powers inside to cut the lead to 3. He had 9 dunks in the game, but Kentucky, well, then they took off. Tyler Eulis to Jamal Murray for 3 out of the corner, and he knocks it down. And then on the break, check out the ball movement here. Poitras is the man who will benefit with the lay-in. Cats get the win. Murray with 21 points, Eulis with 19 and 11 assists. Big night for the Wildcats. Just 1 game left on the regular season. That's senior day on Saturday against LSU. Guys?
All right, should be a big one. Again, Kentucky's final game of the regular season Saturday. UK taking on LSU at Rupp Arena, and it all tips off at 2 o'clock. By the way, you can see that one right here on WKYT.
The SEC title will be decided on Saturday. Kentucky and Texas A&M are tied for first, so should be interesting.
Yeah, a lot on the line, certainly, for the game. 6:39 our time.
Let's get a check of traffic right now.
Let's go out to Officer Don with that check on live drive traffic. We have had a lot going on this morning. Hello, Don.
Hey, good morning. Got one wreck happening right now on the interstate that's really causing problems. That's I-75 northbound at the 110 involving that tractor trailer. We've been reporting on that throughout the morning, and we'll show you that here in just a second. First, a live look at Lexington overall traffic, and now to that collision on the interstate, where at this moment you can see traffic is just very slowly getting past that northbound 75. It's going to be really exit 113, but you're dealing with at least a couple of miles backup trying to clear that scene on the interstate. Now, other than that, Our drive times are okay right now coming in from Nicholasville with no major issues past the county line. Same deal from Harrodsburg. Even Versailles Road across the county line toward Lexington seems to be okay. Biggest issues at interstate. Now back to you in the studio.
And again, the accident actually is at mile marker 113, the Paris Pike North Broadway exit, but that backup is causing things to be slow all the way down to around Winchester Road, down around exit 110. So everybody just take it very easy out there this morning. Plan accordingly. You might want to delay your plans a little bit, give them time to clean up.
It's a little bit of a mess out there.
It is. You can get the latest traffic and weather information anytime with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores. 6:41 here on WKYT this morning. More on the way.
Yes, we have a lot more on the way. An elephant goes on a rampage during a festival in southern India, causing a lot of damage. Whoa, look at that. Find out why. People who witnessed it said they weren't surprised about this. That's after weather.
Probably not the one you want to mess with. A winter pattern takes hold of the state of Kentucky, and that goes for today. That goes for the next couple of days as we still have another snow chance in the forecast, and I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
I actually have some snow showers, a couple of flurries flying around the region. None of this is going to be a major issue, and for the most part, I'd say 90% of us will not get any sticking to the roads. However, you go into eastern Kentucky and get into some of these healthier clips over toward Frenchburg, there in Menifee County. Did get a report that they're getting a little bit on the roads on the sidewalks. It's not much, but it's still getting there. And you know what? That's going to melt very quickly too, because the roads over there are in the mid 40s. So yeah, you get a healthy clip, it could stick pretty quickly. But other than that, you're really going to be seeing that melt pretty rapidly. But what we're going to be dealing with the next few days, it's just that winter pattern. This isn't the only day in the forecast that we're actually seeing a chance of snow. You look down south and southeast across the Hal Rogers Parkway, then work your way up 15, go back toward 460 and 119, the interchange there in Pikeville. We're looking pretty snowy this morning. Here's the look outside here in Lexington. It's not much, is it, right? You get a few flurries here and there, but eastern Kentucky, once again, you get into eastern Kentucky, and that's where you could see some healthier snow clips. Remember, it's possible if you get a really heavy downpour to stick to the road, but it melts very rapidly and it's not much to it. 28 degrees there in Lexington, 28 there in Danville. Yesterday we dropped temperatures 35 degrees in 12 hours. It was a quick drop. Flurries this morning, and once we hit the afternoon, that's long gone. A dry afternoon, mid-30s. We travel off into the next few days. Rain and snow showers will be with us as we head off toward tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty ugly day. Yeah, rain looks to be your best bet. It's not your day to wear your best shoes. I can promise you that for tomorrow, because you're just going to get mainly rain and then a little snow mixed in. Not a good looking day. Temperatures there in the 40s. That's a cold rain. On Friday, a couple of flurries during the morning. It's going to be pretty much like what we see this morning. A couple of flurries early, then dry toward the afternoon in the low 40s. Let's talk about your weekend forecast. How's that shaping up? Well, if you have any plans, it looks pretty good. 45 degrees, it's not bad. It's just below average. On Saturday, only a small chance of rain. That's on Saturday. That's the only chance we have of rain all weekend long. Head in towards Sunday at 52 degrees. Those days look pretty good. They're not bad, but watch after that. Okay, so 36 today. Then we go toward next week on Monday and Tuesday. Look at that. Not even a week away, and we're talking 70s in the forecast. And so this is going to be a really, really nice feel next week, but the next 3 to 4 days, it's going to be that winter feel as we are below average, average being upper 40s, lower 50s. We won't really be close to that anytime soon. You really got to get towards Sunday, off into Monday, actually be at or above that. So this snow that's going on this morning, remember, most of us will deal without any accumulation, and even if it starts sticking to the road for the moment, it melts very rapidly. Should not be any issues whatsoever this morning.
Good. That's the perfect kind of snow.
That would be nice.
And for those who were not up at 5 in the morning, tell us the long range, the 2 weeks
Yeah,
out.
the 2 week long range looks pretty good. We're talking increasing temperatures, 70s. So there's some good news for us right there.
We like it. All right. 6:47, the time.
A festival took a dangerous turn when an elephant went on a rampage.
It's a pretty wild story. The animal attacked as many as 27 vehicles that were parked near a temple in India. The elephant was initially tied to something, but it managed to break free. The animal toppled parked cars, motorbikes, and carts. There were 2 people on top of the elephant at the time, but luckily nobody got hurt. Now, as crazy as this is to see, officials there say accidents like that are not that uncommon. In fact, just last month, an elephant went on a stampede, damaging around 100 buildings in the area.
Wow.
Elephants have some angst from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, we worry about gas prices going up, but they have a whole different set of issues to worry about in India.
Another problem to contend with on a Wednesday morning. Okay. Good to have you with us on WKYT. Hope you don't have anything like that to deal with on your hump day. More news coming up, 6:48 now.
Coming up, Super Tuesday results and analysis and the roadblocks Donald Trump may face from the GOP on the path to a nomination. Plus, after nearly a year in space, what's next for astronaut Scott Kelly? More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
6:51 is the time. We're staying on top of developing news right now in Lexington. Little's changed on I-75 since we've been reporting a semi-crash near the Paris Pike exit.
It's still a problem heading into the rush hour. The semi flipped and caught fire in the northbound lanes just after 2 o'clock this morning near exit 113. That's Paris Pike and North Broadway. You can see now in this live look, traffic remains backed up for miles. This live picture from the scene. Right now, only one northbound lane is open. And police say it could be at least another 30 minutes and maybe longer before the interstate is clear. They're working there to try to get things cleared up. The driver, by the way, was not seriously hurt despite the fiery crash. The semi hauling transmissions when it caught fire. Debris was scattered all across the north and southbound lanes. We'll stay on top of the story.
Well, the National Weather Service is expected to travel to Laurel County today to survey some storm damage. A first responder there had to be taken to the hospital after winds ripped off a roof of her home. Storms also caused damage in other parts of southern Kentucky. No injuries were reported.
It was a Super Tuesday for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Clinton widened her lead over Democratic rival Bernie Sanders as minority voters helped her secure key victories in 7 states. Donald Trump also won 7 of the 11 states in which Republicans were voting. Ted Cruz won the GOP caucuses in Alaska. We've only learned that this morning. They were counting votes all night. It was his 3rd win on Super Tuesday, adding to victories in Texas and Oklahoma's primaries. Marco Rubio scored his first win in Minnesota. With Super Tuesday now in the books, Republican presidential candidates are turning their attention to Saturday's Kentucky caucus. Senator Marco Rubio will be at the Lexington Center on Friday morning. Senator Ted Cruz's father is going to be in Louisville and Bowling Green this week. And this morning, astronaut Scott Kelly, an amazing journey, and he's preparing to make his way back home to the U.S. after a literal out-of-this-world trip.
Yeah, he returned to Earth last night after an unprecedented year in space for NASA. As John Champion reports, his completed mission may soon pave the way for a trip to Mars.
Scott Kelly, back on Mother Earth.
Scott Kelly gave a thumbs up Tuesday night, moments after landing in Kazakhstan. His smile and upbeat outlook, not bad for a man who hasn't been on Earth in nearly a year.
And liftoff. The year in space starts now.
Last March, Kelly flew to the International Space Station and carried out, among other things, countless experiments to study the effects of long-duration trips in space. He spent an unprecedented 340 days in orbit, the same number of days it would take to get to Mars.
Physically, I feel pretty good.
Last week, Kelly admitted space is a harsh environment.
For instance, having no running water, you know, it's kind of like I've been in the woods camping for a year.
During his mission, he flew more than 143 million miles, made more than 5,400 orbits around Earth, and saw 11,000 sunrises and sunsets.
I'm hopeful, and I think we'll learn a lot about longer duration space flight and how that will take us to Mars someday.
Later today, he'll fly to Houston for a final checkup by doctors. Don Champion, CBS News.
Well, a very, very important journey, and welcome back to Earth. All right now it is 6:55 on WKYT.com, keeping you updated on that situation out on I-75 in Lexington, shut down around exit 113 northbound. One lane is open and slow. Southbound is moving okay. It was a fiery crash involving a semi. We have the story and the dramatic video uploaded online now. Super Tuesday results in a big night, as we've been reporting, for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders also pulling out some victories. One victory for Marco Rubio. Ohio. And it's just ahead of the Republican caucus in Kentucky Saturday. We'll continue to cover that, including a WKYT News special report Saturday evening at 7, and of course information about where to go caucus if you're a Republican on our website as well. It was an important bounce-back win for the Wildcats on the road in Florida last night. The Cats looked good after a tweak by Coach Cal. Kentucky won at 88-70 over the Gators. The Cats now get ready for Senior Day in LSU on Saturday afternoon, a game you'll see right here on WKYT. On Kentucky.com, State Representative Ruth Ann Palumbo has filed a bill to close loopholes after a Herald Leader investigation revealed a lot of homes on large lots and vacant development properties are getting a tax break that was intended for farms. CBS This Morning coming up shortly with your eye-opener, and of course we'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest, WKYT.com.
Yeah, we're still seeing that backup on I-75 mile marker 113. That is the Paris Pike exit, so keep that in mind. So those northbound lanes on I-75 are still really backed up. Skycam showing you the look outside. What we're going to be seeing, spitting snow showers and flurries earlier this morning, that is long gone there by noontime, guys. By the afternoon, 36 degrees. Carry that coat along with you. You'll need it all day long.
There'll be a few more cold days, right? Nobody is more up to date than you. Thank you for being with WKYT.
Have a great day.